What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Oklahoma Fishing and Adventure. I'm your host, Aaron Newton, and today we're going on an adventure sitting at my computer. Wait, that's not right, is it? No, I'm going to show you how to get started finding fishing spots from your computer before you ever get out on the water to ensure that you have the best adventure you can while you're on the water. Let's get to it. Alright everyone, so I got the website up and I've got Google Earth Pro. So what we're doing today is, I told you last time that I was going to show you how to find or where a lot of my fishing waypoints came from. So today I'm delivering on that promise, and we're going to be using everything I'm showing you is coming from the Wildlife Department. They have a website now that has an interactive map on it that even gives you GPS waypoints from where the fishing spots are. So I've showed you before here on my Google Earth, I've got a bunch of waypoints on here. The majority of these actually came from this website. Way up here in Ulaga, Skytook, Keystone, a lot of those waypoints are mine as well. But I only put in the waypoints that I use or that I may go fish. So there's a lot of this stuff that isn't, like if you look over here, there's not very much over here. So I'm going to link the address to this website. You can find it just from the Oklahoma Wildlife Department. But whenever you come to the website, you'll see when you first load up, I'm going to go ahead and reload it so you guys can see this. We'll reload. Of course, you get a warning saying, hey, this is all possibly wrong. Use it at your own discretion, blah, blah, blah. You can read it when you get here. But once you get here, then you're going to see this bookmark section that's here. This is pretty much every lake here in Oklahoma, and if there's one that you're particularly looking for, you just click on that lake. It's going to zoom you into the area, and then once it loads in, you'll be able to see these little dots. So apparently this one wasn't a very good one. Sooner have any? Yeah, there you go. You got all these dots on here. Well, when you click on the dots, then it gives you information. It tells you it's Sooner Lake, the area names where you launch from, or whatever's Prairie Chicken. This is a brush pile. They do have some that are the PVC. So just know there could be some difference. But if you look at my Google Earth Pro, everything I put in there is brush, just so that I can narrow it down. Tells you when it was installed and then gives you the GPS coordinates, and then at normal water level, 16 feet deep, this one is marked, so there's going to be a buoy or something floating out there, and then if there is bank access, so can you access this from the bank? Not all of them have it, but some of them do. Just trying to see if I could find one real quick that had bank access, but not looking so good. And you will get some of these, like this guy here, that's way out of line. Don't pay any attention to that. It even tells you that it's at 0 depth, so just ignore that one. You don't have to worry about it at all. Yeah, see, you got some of these that it's not marked, and it's still saying that there's no bank access, even though I bet there is. But anyway, you get the gist. So that's basically what's going on. You can zoom out, and it looks oddly familiar to what I've got here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in Black Mesa. I've never fished this area. I've been to Black Mesa, but I've never fished it. And so what we're going to do is I can use this area to show you what I do. So, as you can see, we have a few waypoints here. Looks like there's 2 of them that aren't legit, so we won't even worry about those. But I typically just start in a pattern, pick right, left, doesn't matter, whatever works for you. So I'm going to start here on the left, because I'm left-handed. This one shows at 0 depth, but it is marked. See, that one says it's got bank access as well. So I don't know if this one is legit. This one, see, it does actually tell you it's a juniper tree, so a lot of times it'll tell you what it is. So all we're going to do is we're going to highlight over that, hit Control C to copy. So then we're going to come over here to Google Earth Pro, and right up here at the top you're going to see the pen icon. We're just going to copy that and then come back over here to the website. Now I will tell you, this is not a fast method to do this. It will take you a lot of time depending on how many of these waypoints you want, but it will give you starting points of where you could possibly want to go. You can also go in here like what I just did. If you don't want, because like right now you see that's a pen. If you don't want it to be a pen, you just come over here, where was I? Yeah, over here, click on it, and then I want to do a fish icon. Now the fish icons do not copy over to your fish finder. It's just going to be a standard icon once you get it on your fish finder. This just kind of helps me identify, because we do a lot of hiking and stuff as well, so a lot of times the pens will be hiking trails or something like that. So but it's basically that and repeat a bunch of times over. As you can see, this takes a little bit of time, but what this gives you is an advantage on the water. If you don't know the body of water that you're going to, it just gives you a starting point. Depending on how you want to fish, I'm not much on offshore fishing at the moment. I'm wanting to get there. That's the reason why I bought a new fish finder, the Garmin 93 SV. I bought that specifically because I want to get good at fishing brush piles, but my old Humminbird unit just did not show me the details that I needed to see, and it was very hard to find fish. So I'm hoping that by upgrading that, getting all these waypoints imported, basically that gives me a starting point. If you do any offshore fishing, you know the first thing that you've got to do is find the offshore spots. A lot of times that takes forever. I mean, you may be running around with your main motor, using your fish finder on your side imaging, just trying to find brush piles or something out deep. Well, what this does is this gives you a jump start. You've got a few spots that you can kind of go to depending on your fish finder. You can actually narrow it down even by depth. I do that a lot. Most of the current fish finders, even my old Helix 5, would allow you to highlight depth. So if you're out fishing and you say, okay, hey, I'm finding the fish in 8 to 10 feet of water, you can narrow that down, and what that'll do is that'll highlight all of the area in the map that reaches that depth, and then you can see, is there brush on there? Is there a rock pile on there? That's one of the reasons why I label everything as brush, because I do mark brush piles as well, or rock piles as well. Here in Oklahoma, we got a lot of rock that is very good fishing spots as well. So anyway, I'm not going to go through and show you all this. I'm just going to show you basically how you get started, and this is what you do. It took me, I think, about 2 weeks of working just evenings, where I would come home once I was done. Before I'd go to bed, I would do this for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes to an hour. And that got me, all of these waypoints that I've got. It takes a long time, but it's so beneficial. Yeah, we'll zoom in here. And I mean, all these, you can basically pick, are they back in coves? Are they out on points? They on docks here? Where are you finding fish? And then you can zoom out and find spots pretty much everywhere. Yeah, here's Hudson. I mean, I fish a lot of these coves, and you can see they're just loaded with it. But this would take years, I mean literally years, for you to go through and find that on your own. So we're going to jump ahead, and we're going to go, now you have everything just like what I have in here. Okay, so you're ready. How do you get that to your fish finder? Well, I've found, got my light in the way here, I have a program here called GPS Babel. It's a little little program. Get everything back up here. Now, what this does is this will allow you to, so once you come up here and you hit save, I want to save my place as, and we're saving it as brush. Okay, so once you have what we just did, it's saved now. So now you come over here, and the input is the file, so that's what we're going to bring in. I did not look and see where I actually put that, though. That may be a problem. Alright guys, sorry about that. I got myself all confused and discombobulated. That is a word. It's a real thing. Happens to me all the time. So, let's try this again. Okay. Now, we have all the information we need. So, what we have to do is when we save this thing, it's saved as either a KMZ or a KML. So, you need to come in here and select Google Earth Keyhole Markup Language. Okay? Now, when you do that, Brush automatically shows up here in the KML language. So, we've selected it. We're leaving all that stuff alone. So what we're going to do now, which one are we going to do? Let's do the hummingbird, HWR. That sounds grand. Okay, so here you need to pick where you want it to save, because that's another thing that I was doing wrong, is I just named it, but didn't tell it where I wanted it to go. I don't know. Okay, so we name it. We've got it selected, the HWR, and then we're just going to name it brush again. Save. So now we're ready to run. So there we go. So it says that it's in that spot. Translation was successful. So we can go over here to OneDrive, to fishing, and yeah, GDB and HWR. So one of them I did a minute ago, this time was the HWR. So there's your file. So then all you have to do is put in a memory card, whatever size your fish finder takes. I don't know what size that is. Mine is a micro SD. You put that in there, you copy that file over, then you'll go to your unit, and in your unit, in the settings, there should be a place to import. You import all that in, and then all of those waypoints will be loaded in your fish finder. So that part I can't really go into details because there's so many different types of fish finders. I wouldn't even know how to begin to do it. So there's all kinds of tutorials on YouTube if you need it. And yeah, you just find your model number and search, how to import waypoints. But anyway, guys, that's it. I mean, it's super easy. It's going to take a long time to do. But for me, it's been very well worth it. I mean, I've thought about it in time. The only problem is some of these are mine, some of them are those. Actually selling pre-made SD cards where all of this stuff is already loaded in. But like I said, everything's too mixed up between mine and theirs. Now, there used to also be an Excel file that actually listed all of the brush piles before any of this came out. Whenever we had the Classic here in Tulsa, they gave you out that huge book that you could get. This is basically what that book was, but the book did not have waypoints. The book just had the maps itself, like what you see here, but you couldn't click on it to find all this other information, which some of this is actually really useful. Some of these look like, yeah, so like that one does have bank access, 15-foot deep, bunch of cedar trees. Now these may not be 100% accurate, they may be just a little bit off, but if you're in a boat with a fish finder, there's no reason why you can't just kind of troll around and find them. It is going to get you close enough that you could find them anyway, but with the new technology, it's super easy. So anyway, guys, I hope that helped a whole lot. If it did, please be sure to drop a like, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. At the making of this video, I am at 98 subscribers, so I'm almost to that 100 mark, guys. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps me out a lot. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.